Gunnar Henderson, the left-handed batter's box, looks out. The big right-hander's first pitch is a fastball over the knees for a called strike one on Henderson. He was cooled off at the plate after hitting 5 of his 6 home runs within the window of 8 games. He's now 3 for his last 28. The pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 on Baltimore's leadoff man. Orioles come to the ballpark today even at 10-10. Losers of 3 out of the last 4. The Guardians are back within a game of the 500 mark at 11-10. Last night it was the big rally, a 6-run top of the 8th that propelled the Birds to victory. 0-2. Half swing. Did he go? They appealed to third, and he did. Henderson a little stunned, being rung up by the third base umpire, Nate Tomlinson, on the check swing. A strikeout for Gavin Williams to start his night. Taylor Ward coming to the plate against the 26-year-old right-hander. Major League Baseball pumping out a bunch of information today. They dubbed this Saturday as MLB Ace Day, but they left off the Guardians right-hander, Williams. Pitched down and away on Taylor Ward for ball 1. Williams emerged as the ace last year. Led the rotation in wins, starts, innings pitched, strikeouts. All doing it very young in his major league career. The 1-0. Swinging a foul back off to our right. 1 ball and 1 strike on Taylor Ward. His winning percentage only trailed Garrett Crochet and Max Fried. Crochet was great. He won 18 games with the Bo Sox. The Yankees had Max Fried winning 19 games last year. 1-1, line to the gap in right center field. That's headed towards the wall, and it's down for a base hit. And a 1-hop off the fence just above the 375 marker, and Taylor Ward finally can trot into second base with another double. He hadn't had an extra base hit in his last 7 games, and after bolting out of the gate, leading Major League Baseball into today, still with 10 doubles, he's got his 11th, and the Orioles are threatening here early. A ringing shot to right center field. Split the defenders Quan and DeLauder. And took a bounce out of that muddy warning track. And an easy 2-bagger for Ward. Orioles threatening for Pete Alonso. Right-hander deals. Pitch called a strike on the inside. Alonso went 2 for 4 last night. Had a couple of base hits in the series opener on Thursday, including an RBI double. It was part of the comeback that fell a little bit short. The Orioles have done a lot of late damage. They're looking for offense early. Swing and a miss by Alonso. Really expanded the zone there and came up empty. He's behind 0-2. And now he asks for time. The Guardians have blown 6 leads in losses this year. 3rd most in the big leagues behind the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Large part because of clunky bullpens. Runner at second, draws a couple of looks. Once and twice. The 0-2 to the plate. A little bit low. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the slugger Alonso. The bats with 5 doubles, a couple of home runs, and 8 driven in. 4 of his 7 extra base hits have happened within this week, over the last 6 days. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a breaking ball. Second strikeout for Williams. 2 down around the double. We were mentioning how Gavin Williams burst on the scene and how MLB is looking at today as one of its ace days. 5 of the last 8 Cy Young Award winners are on the mound tonight. Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, Chris Sale, Sandy Alcantara, all on the rubber around the game. Dylan Beavers bats. Takes a little bit outside, ball 1. Oh, by the way, there's a former Cy Young Award winner and a future Hall of Famer hitting the hill for the Blue Jays tonight, Max Scherzer. Runner at second. We're scoreless in the first. The pitch. Breaking ball. Rolled over the outside corner for a called strike. Backdooring Beavers. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield deep, lined up straight away. Quan, after a couple of steps to his left, opens the gap in left center. And the 1-1. Offered at by Beavers. Beavers now asks for time. Stares off into the distance. Gathers himself. 1 for 3 with a couple of free passes. And those walks will come in bunches for Dylan Beavers. A very controlled at bat. Back healthy, DH last night, and out in right field tonight. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing, takes it in the dirt. No appeal necessary this time. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Manager Craig Elderness was talking before the ball game. He said it's really important to get Beavers back out in the outfield. He hadn't played out there in nearly a week. He'd been battling a little bit of an illness. Wanted to get him off his feet, keep him off his feet until his regular breathing returned. Runner at second. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Williams will fan the side around the double by Taylor Ward, and the Orioles leave the runner in scoring position and are done batting here in the top of the first. Dean Kramer's second turn of the rotation. He's on the bump when we come back on the Orioles Radio Network.
Should've kept it straight from the jump. Why'd we come this far to get this far? I should leave it alone. Cause there's no proof of you staying. Your mind was made up a couple months ago. Oh no, I know you don't have much to say, yeah, that's clear now. But I won't keep on giving you grace while my heart's broken. But you take the time away to clear your head out. I don't got nothing to say. How could you let me get away still? Well, I still cry, I won't lie. But you'll never know if I'm fine. Am I alright? Well, you'll never know. You took this path on your own time without giving us a try. So we'll never know. Feel good, won't feel bad tonight. I feel good, won't feel bad tonight. I feel good, don't care where you're at tonight. I feel good, you wonder where I'm at tonight.
Up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Quan. Monday night, rather rude return to the major leagues for Dean Kramer when Ketel Marte hit the first of his 2 home runs on the very first pitch offered. The 2-2, swinging a line drive up the right field line, hook foul. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nolan Arenado would hit a later home run in that ball game, a 2-run shot off of Kramer, but he would spit the hook because the Orioles were on their first of 2 massive comebacks this week. Jeremiah Jackson had a grand slam, big moment for Pete Alonso with a go-ahead 2-run home run against the Diamondbacks back on Monday. The 2-2, swinging a foul off to the left. Stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the rotation's leader from a year ago. Led Baltimore in innings, led him with a big strikeout percentage at 66%, which was not only the best in the rotation last year, one of the best all time. 2-2. Popped him up. Shallow into center field. It'll drift out to Leody Taveras. Starts to his right, a couple of strides, and it will tire Kwan on the fly ball. Defensively for the Birds tonight, Leody is flanked to his right by Taylor Ward, and in right field, Dylan Beavers. Around the diamond defensively as the drift begins, Kobe Mayo deep at third base and shading towards the middle, with Gunnar Henderson planted right beyond the bag at second. Jeremiah Jackson at second base with Pete Alonso, hugging the line at first. Samuel Bassao dips the right knee. Target is up in the pitch. Swinging a foul back by the left-handed batting DeLauder. Strike one on DeLauder. Got a double and a walk last night. And 5 home runs. One of the younger hitters in this Guardians lineup, but he's in a premier production spot, batting second. That's how much they love his bat. A pitch in from Kramer and a tap of the cap from Bassao.
Pitch is called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Mark Wagner, the crew chief, balls and strikes tonight. Bassao went right to his cap, and he does not read that one correctly.
The call is confirmed. Ball. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
Well, that's a tough challenge to give up early in the ball game. I understand the advantage of being 0-2 versus 1-1. That pitch wasn't that close. Couple of shakes. Kramer now has the one that he wants. No, he doesn't. He steps off. But he's being charged with a timer violation. Oh, this is a very terrible circumstance for the Orioles. They lose the challenge, which now they only have 1 remaining for the rest of the game. And now a timing violation on the pitch clock gives another ball in this at-bat. It's 2-1. Kramer deals. Swing and a line drive, right center field. On the run, Beavers onto the track. He runs it down to make the catch. Right center field, and a bolt to his right by Dylan Beavers. Tracking down that drive by DeLauder.
Yeah, good read from Beavers on that. That's a good play, and you felt that at-bat was cursed. So to get out of it with a sharp line out to the gap in right center, a ball that if it gets down, extra bases for DeLauder. But what Bassao did there is exactly what Craig Albertaz talked about before the game, an emotional response.
There's Jose Ramirez taking inside.
And in that moment, it's not deciding an at-bat. It's not in a critical moment of the game. You have to take the emotion out of it, and you have to be right.
Switch hitter on the left side. The 1-0. Swing a high fly ball down the right field line. Home run distance, but it is turning foul into the corner and plenty deep over the bleachers. Loud contact for a first strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Craig, you're exactly right. And Craig Albertaz has been asked a lot about that because it seems like these early challenges by Bassao are emotional reacting. 1-1. Pulled foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we've seen it from a couple of young hitters already in this season. And I asked Stephen Vogt about this earlier, and he admitted that there is no defined, you can do this, you can't do this. This is the count that we look at it in Cleveland. Craig Albertaz has said there is nothing written in stone right now about these challenges. If you feel like you can challenge it, challenge it. For anybody. 1-2 pitch coming, and a check swing by Ramirez at the plate. I think he tapped it away foul. To dish lunging. No, he took it low. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think he was talking about hitters, though, today when he said, does that pitch decide the at-bat? Then it's worth maybe a greater risk.
2-2. Swinging a foul back.
But again, that one wasn't close. And you understand Bassao wanting to steal a strike early in the game. But Craig Albertaz has said repeatedly, including today, he likes to have challenges in the holster. It was big last night with Taveras.
The 2-2 pitch. Down and away with the splitter missing. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Jose Ramirez. That was a massive at-bat. Leody Taveras tapped his cap, and the pitch was low after he had been rung up. And that was right in the midst of the Orioles' comeback. 3-2 inbound. And it bounces to the plate, ball 4. They're always very careful anytime Jose Ramirez has a bat in his hand. And that was a very, very careful sequence between Basayo and Kramer. 2-out base runner here in the scoreless first. And that'll bring up Kyle Manzardo. They got one bullet in terms of the ABS challenge, remaining the rest of the way. Pitch to Manzardo. Strike on the outside. Good lead by Ramirez at first. He leads Major League Baseball with 9 stolen bases. Leading back towards first, sensing a throw, and here it comes from Kramer. It's filled in a little bit. Boy, it was really sparse shortly after the national anthem wrapped up and we were nearing the lineup exchanges and the first pitch. A lot of people staying under cover until the rain was completely done. Runner from first goes. Pitch called high. Throw by Basayo and a bounce down to second. Not in time. 10th stolen base for Jose Ramirez. He pads the lead in the big leagues. In the steals department, he's in scoring position. Orioles weren't so sure. They want to make sure, though, with the video replay center, that call on the field was correct. Carlos Torres right on top of it, and they say play on. Henderson reaching back behind him, seeing if he could nip the body of Ramirez as he was sliding through.
Yeah, I don't think he ever tagged him at all.
One ball and one strike. Manzardo on the left side, swings and misses, and it's 1-2. Tavares playing shallow in center. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Manzardo down on strikes. Kramer's got his first strikeout of his start tonight, and he leaves a runner at second base, like the Orioles did in the first. We're underway, one complete, nothing across on the Orioles Radio Network. See Colton back in the lineup. There was certainly a lot of concern after he impacted the wall in deep right field last night, tracking down a fly ball in foul territory. The 0-1, swing and a miss. That's a big rip. In the hole, 0-2. He was tended to by the medical staff. Craig Albert was very concerned. I asked the manager about it before the ball game, and his level of concern only grew because he couldn't see the play. He didn't see what happened, but he knew that Cowser was down by the way that the other players on the field had reacted. The 0-2 to Colton, down in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Colton did stay in the ball game after shaking away some of the pain. Really had to work through it. Got some treatment this morning. Has a compression sleeve over the knee. And he's back in there DHing tonight. 1-2. That tail's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cowser went 0 for 3 last night. Grimacing through some pain late. Really banged up that right knee. 2-2. Breaking ball falls in for a strike 3 call. That's a big curveball at 84 miles an hour, just falling right off the table and freezing Cowser. 3rd strikeout, 4th strikeout already in 5 batters faced by Gavin Williams. Here comes Leody Taveras. Drawing the 3rd baseman in. The pitch. Curveball over for a called strike 1. Leody has his thumbprint all over this series. He broke up the no-hit bid on Thursday night, and then a significant challenge that won him a walk last night. Williams fires inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orioles had Taveras come to the plate in the top of the 8th inning after the sacrifice fly from Jonathan Rodriguez. 1-1. That's inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And then right after the walk, Weston Wilson came off the bench to pinch hit, and he laced a 2-run double. The pitch. Missed inside. Borderline pitch goes in favor of Taveras, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Williams, a quick worker. 3-1. And it tied him up. Did he offer? No, he did not. He'll take ball 4. Wow. There was a lot of motion from Leody Taveras, but he held the bat back, even though everything else was twisting and turning. Orioles get their 2nd base runner of the night with a 1-out walk.
He now has 9 walks. He's walking 20% of all plate appearances. That's way up from his career numbers of about 7%. He's doing everything right.
9 walks, 9 strikeouts. To see a 50-50 on that, move towards first base, and he hustles back.
And the way this Orioles lineup is going right now, Wags, when you get a guy like Taveras on, I think you have to think aggressively on the bases.
He just chewed off another half step. He wants to get in motion, and he bluffs. The pitch to the plate. Basayo takes a strike on the outside corner. Orioles have been involved in a ton of tight games already this year. They're certainly not slugging it the way that you would expect. The hits have been infrequent, coming in bunches. Basayo chops it away foul at the plate, puts himself in the hole 0-2. And it feels like that aggressiveness could jumpstart this offense in a lot of ways. And Leody has been plugging the bases a lot. 13 for 35 at the plate, 3 doubles. High on base. He's down on his knees, being held by Manzardo. Defense drifts to the right on the diamond. Outfield lined up straight away. Williams to Basayo. Another bluff by Taveras, and Basayo clubs it high and deep out to left field. The ballpark will hold it. Still on the outfield grass in front of the track. Valera is there, and he makes the play. A deep drive the opposite way from Samuel Basayo for round number 2. Runner goes back to first, and we stay scoreless. Righty on righty with Kobe Mayo digging in. At third base tonight. A move by Williams to first base, and he's back in there easily. Looked like a little bit better of a move from Gavin Williams, too. Kind of just springing away from the slab. There goes Tavares. Swinging a ground ball, hugging the line at third. It's flared by Ramirez. He's got one play, and that's to throw to first in time. Mayo bounces out 5-3. No runs, no hits, a walk leaves a man. Inning and a half gone by. We're scoreless across the Orioles Radio Network.
It's going down, it's going down. Yeah, it's going down. Yeah, it's going down, it's going down. Yeah, it's going down. Whole time, trap bleeding, we still them. Freedom guys, they was telling lies. Bad, double D's, she just won it all. First class, jet lag, she my favorite boy. Rose voice, big pimpin', like that old Hove, old white, made back. Like a snow globe, we keep dripping. Van Cleef, not that peace pendant, no peace pendant. Big faces, I'ma keep spending. Want to. She gon' get paid if she want to. We gon' get paid if we want to. She gon' get paid if she want to. We gon' get paid when we stay focused. Hardcore, we don't trust them boys, win or lose.
Counts. A Birdland membership is the most popular way to secure the best seats at the best value. Learn more at Orioles.com/memberships.
With Brett Hollander, I'm Ben Wagner. Last of the second here in Cleveland, we're scoreless. George Valero will lead it off against Dean Kramer. And the pitch. Line drive right at second base, caught by Jeremiah Jackson, one down. A hard line drive screaming right at the Orioles' second baseman. Handled by the bat of Valero. Here's Rhys Hoskins. Both teams have threatened here early. Cleveland or Baltimore not able to break through. Hoskins is DHing. 6 extra base hits here in the early going. The pitch. Over for a cold strike one. Take a real quick rundown of the Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard because this town was busy today. Really busy here in Cleveland. A doubleheader of sorts. 0-1 to Hoskins. Tails outside from Kramer. 1 ball and 1 strike. Literally across the walkway here in between two venues where the Cleveland Cavaliers play NBA basketball. They just moved into the playoffs. The ballpark is separated by a plaza. We can see right at the arena. 1-1. Hoskins takes outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pretty much cruise control for the Cavs today over the Raps. Won by a baker's dozen. 126-113 in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch to Hoskins. Half swing and a foul back to our right. Evens the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. We did not go.
No.
We had other duties.
We thought about it.
There was a twinkle in our eye, certainly.
And we tend to run into these series this time of the year where you might have, in a certain town, an NBA or NHL postseason game.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Hoskins down on strikes. Second batter fanned by Kramer tonight.
It happened to us last year in Minneapolis. The Timberwolves were hosting the Golden State Warriors. And at our hotel for days was the Warriors team. We were just in, Pittsburgh? And that wasn't the playoffs, but the Florida Panthers of the NHL were there. So that does happen from time to time.
Kobe Mayos, Florida Panthers. 2 down here in the second. Starting to square around. Schneemann pulls back. There's a strike from Kramer. It's a fun time of year to be in these cities because if they can avoid having these games at the same time, they will do so. But if they happen on the same day, there's a great buzz and a vibe in the city, and it starts really early. 0-1. Splitter missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that was the case certainly this morning. Just getting around town, finding your coffee, people decked out in their Cavs gear, and some people clearly were embracing for the doubleheader.
No question.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch. That's down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I always think that's a fun thing. I feel sometimes in Baltimore, it would take an Orioles postseason game to have that possible doubleheader. I think it's the height of everything for any town to have that opportunity.
2-1. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, that was happening across the plaza today on the Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard. For more than a century, urologists at Johns Hopkins Medicine have pioneered breakthrough treatments for conditions such as prostate cancer, erectile dysfunction, and kidney stones. Learn more at hopkinsmedicine.org/urology. The 2-2 fouled away in the batter's box off the foot of Schneemann. He wilts. And now he'll hobble away.
Using that bat as a cane.
He's favoring that right leg.
Right on the ankle.
Right on the ankle. Inside of the foot, straight down, right on the knob.
And now a trainer for the Guardians and Stephen Vogt, the manager, they're going to come out to make sure Schneemann is okay. He's trying to put pressure on it. I'm not sure if he is okay.
He is really writhing in pain. He's talking through it. He's trying to backpedal, put a little pressure on the heel. Now trying to rock him back from the balls of his toes back to the heel. Trying to wrench it to the right and the left. A little lateral motion. He's not comfortable.
No.
We know that. He's certainly not comfortable with this situation.
I do want to mention that, while you mentioned the scoreboard, the Mets lost again today.
Yes,
they have
did.
lost 10 in a row. They are 7-14. What's their payroll? $350, $400 million. One of the biggest in the history of professional sports. And really, since August of last year, they've been one of the worst teams in baseball.
It was an absolute collapse last year, and they were doubled up by the Cubs today, 4-3 at Wrigley. Jameson Taillon gets the win, his first of the year.
The Yankees pounded the Royals today in the Bronx, 13-4. A lot of expectations for that Kansas City ball club. We're going there tomorrow night. 3-game series begins Monday at Kauffman Stadium, but they are 7-14 in the early going.
Only 2 wins on the road. Schneemann's going to stay in. The 2-2. Fastball up and out. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kramer with the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dean Kramer and a 1-2-3 second inning. Off to the third, still scoreless in Cleveland, Ohio. And over the Orioles Radio Network.
Maybe once I'm beautiful, I feel like I'm good enough. My insecurities wouldn't get the best of me. Maybe I'm out of this world. Do up all your cover, girl. Wouldn't have to work as
With Gavin Williams to begin this third inning, and a breaking ball just missed inside 1-0.
His days of going to a restaurant, grabbing lunch, standing in line somewhere without being recognized, they're over.
The 1-0. That's a strike. A breaking ball that's in there, and it's 1-1. He is so much fun to watch right now. You just love the story. Someone like him, wallowing for years in the minor leagues, taking advantage of this moment. This is fouled right at home plate, and it's 1-2. I do want to note that Jeremiah Jackson, I've said this before, he was a second-round pick going back in time to 2018 when he was drafted by the LA Angels. So there was a lot of talent there. The 1-2. Driven to right center field. The right fielder, DeLauder, is back. He's calling for it, and he'll make the catch. He gave it a ride, stung to the gap, but on this dank night, not going far. And there's one out. But for Jeremiah Jackson, he's only 26. He was drafted out of high school, so he never played collegiately. And last year, even though he had some moments in the minor leagues, he really had a terrific minor league season. A strike there to Gunnar Henderson to begin the at-bat with one down, 0-1. Last season, in 40 games in AAA, he hit .377 and slugged nearly .700, essentially doing what he's doing now. Henderson fights this off and fouls it down the left field line, twisting foul out of play, 0-2. And there are moments where he had some good minor league power numbers. He's hit 110 minor league home runs. That is a pretty big number. So it's not totally out of nowhere. The 0-2. Chop foul right at home plate. There remains 0-2 to Henderson. No score, top of the third. Here in Cleveland, Ohio. Or as they say around these parts, we're at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. As the great Tom Hamilton, a few booths over, always says, low for a ball, 1-2. Now, here in Cleveland, they say Carnegie, but growing up, if you learned about Andrew Carnegie, or is it properly said as Carnegie, I don't know. Henderson rolls one foul towards the Orioles dugout, and it remains 1-2. I think it's called Carnegie Hall.
It is, yeah.
Carnegie Deli.
Well, that's what it is now.
But I don't have the right answer for you. But in this town, they say Carnegie. Henderson hits it sharply on the ground and threw on the right side, a base hit for Gunnar. He had been struggling. He struck out to begin this ball game, but a much-needed base hit for Henderson.
Now batting for Baltimore.
He's on it first with just one out. And Taylor Ward will bat. Perhaps a running situation here for Gunnar. The Orioles are going to need to scrap some runs together and try and get into this Cleveland bullpen, which has just been horrendous this year, and they've really struggled in this series against Baltimore. Henderson being held at first by Manzardo. Not going, the pitch. Ward takes the ball outside 1-0, but Williams is tough. 2.38 ERA entering play tonight. An opponent seeing just 137 against him. Essentially, best way to beat him is if he walks you. He does that a lot. The pitch. A strike there. 1-1. Right now, coming into this start, through 4 starts, he's walking about 6.5 batters through 9. Last year, he led the league by giving up 83 base on balls. That is a lot, but he does not give up a lot of hard contact and a lot of hits. 1-1 to Ward. Toss over to first. Close play, and Henderson safe. Safe is the call on a very close play, and Stephen Vogt wants to make sure. Henderson was leaning. It was a great pickoff move and a great throw right to Henderson coming back to the bag, and they will not challenge. That is one disengagement. Henderson creeps a little towards second base. Williams is from the stretch. Ward doubled his first at-bat. A long hold. Here's the pitch. Big chopper to the left side to the third baseman Ramirez, and his throw goes into right field and down the line. Henderson will make it to third base. He'll get the stop sign. Ward advances to second on the rare E5 from Jose Ramirez. His throw wasn't even close. Maybe a double play ball, maybe not, maybe just the lead runner in Henderson, but they get no outs, and then everyone advances 90 feet. Second and third, one away for Pete Alonso on a huge error from Jose Ramirez.
I don't think he had a grip on it. He got to that ball, he had a clean exchange, and then just airmailed the throw.
And now the infield in. So he is human. Right on right as Alonso bats. Is called strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Now, Williams has allowed 3 home runs this year, so on occasion, you can take him deep. Alonso has been much better over the last week. The 0-1, Alonso hits this in the air down the right field line and foul into the seats. Quickly, 0-2. Second and third, just one down, but it is 0-2 to Pete Alonso. Henderson runs well. He's at third base, leading in foul ground. Ward at second. The pitch. Down away for a ball, 1-2 to Pete Alonso. Alonso's last 6 games, 7 for 20, 4 extra base hits, and 6 walks. Dylan Beavers is on deck. The pitch by Williams. Chop foul right in to the shin of Alonso in the right-handed batter's box, and it remains 1-2.
That's a big overhand curveball that he's got. He's got good stuff. It moves a lot. When he fills up the zone, he's extremely competitive, and that's where the gaudy strikeout numbers come. Or he can be all over the map, still with the same movement, and get guys to chase.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. A strikeout for out number 2 in the top of the third, and now the Orioles need a 2-out hit to get a run in more than likely. It was the curveball that finished off Alonso.
And already the 5th strikeout, so it's a prime night for Gavin Williams. Stephen Vogt was talking about that before the ballgame. He said he's so special, but you look at his line score. Here he is with 5 walks, 10 strikeouts, and somehow he doesn't give up a run.
Yeah, maybe he'll put one in the dirt here and make it tough for his catcher, Bo Naylor. Infield now backed up with 2 outs. The pitch. Beavers hits it very slowly, foul up the first baseline. 0-1. The stuff is electric. A really good fastball into the upper. Be well and square up, not for Williams. The 0-1. Beavers takes low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, everything is dominant. League hitters this year are hitting 158 against the fastball, 063 against the curveball, 143 against the sweeper. You get my point. The 1-1 to Beavers. Wave and a miss. Pulled by that sweeper, 1-2. Second and third, 2 outs, but even with the error by Jose Ramirez, the Orioles desperately trying to score here. They've had a hard time putting runs on the board in the early going. Innings 1 through 3 this year. Coming into tonight, the Orioles are 27th in baseball runs scored with just 17 total runs. That opportunity for them right now. The 1-2. Beavers are swinging a miss. Down on strikes. 6 punch-outs for Gavin Williams, and despite the big error by Jose Ramirez, second and third, 1 out, the Orioles do not score. We'll go to the bottom of the third at Progressive Field. No score on the Orioles Radio Network. atop Television Hill as Dean Kramer delivers a fastball up and away to Bo Naylor, and it's 1-0. 8-9-1 due up for Cleveland. The only base runner against Kramer was a walk to Jose Ramirez in the first. This curveball is low to Naylor. 2 balls and no strikes. Orioles had a big opportunity in the top of the third. Second and third, 1 out, and they could not score. The 2-0 pitch from Kramer to Naylor. A strike on the inside corner. A fastball at 93, and it's 2-1 to the catcher for Cleveland. Naylor coming in, hitting just 143. His offensive struggles have continued into this year. The 2-1. There's a strike. A splitter on the inner half. Hung a little bit, but clipped the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dean Kramer making his second start, and the pitch. That's low. Went back to the splitter. Naylor didn't chase it. 3-2. The pitch. Broken bat, looper, and it's caught at second base on the edge of the outfield. The bat almost made it to first base, and the ball nearly made it to the outfield grass. But run down by Jeremiah Jackson. Nice play, nice concentration, and a nice pitch. 1 down, here's Brian Rocchio. Like last night, this Guardians lineup features a huge run of switch hitters and left-handed batters, so Kramer will face 8 of the 9 hitters batting from the left side. Rocchio looks at a ball outside 1-0. Dean Kramer winds and deals. On the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. There's a great sports tradition in this town and a great baseball tradition. Baseball here goes back to 1901, 6 pennants, 2 World Series. Some of the all-time great players. The 1-1. Outside for a ball. 2-1. We just celebrated Jackie Robinson Day. Everyone knows Jackie Robinson Day. And about the incredible history of Jackie in baseball in America. April 15, 1947. But what's lost, I think, sometimes are the players that came right after Jackie, up and away for a ball to Brian Rocchio. And in those days, Ben Wagner, the difference in the 2 leagues, American and National, was nothing like today. They were really different leagues with different team presidents. And only a few months in the same year, 1947, after Jackie Robinson broke Major League Baseball's color barrier, Larry Doby did it in the American League. Rocchio hits us high in the air, right field, shy of the track. Out there's Beavers, and he makes the catch. Rocchio did not miss that by much. He gave it a ride, but the ball just not flying right now on a dank night, and they're 2 away. And Larry Doby had to go through everything that Jackie went through just a few months later, not years, a few months in the same year, in the same season. And Doby was a brilliant player and helped Cleveland win a World Series. And he's one of the greatest players in Cleveland history. Forget the incredible nature of what he did, which was enduring terrible things, as Stephen Kwan takes a strike 1, 0-1. But with Cleveland, 10 seasons here, he hit 215 home runs. His OPS was about 900 here. He's just one of the greatest of all time. And I just feel he gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. He is a Hall of Famer. Kwan takes a strike, a fastball in the outside corner. And it's quickly 0-2 to Stephen Kwan. Part of the great tradition history here that also features the likes of Rapid Robert, Bob Feller. I don't think that guy threw it in the triple digits. Well, of course he did. The 0-2. That's a called strike 3. Kramer paints on Stephen Kwan. A rare strikeout for Kwan, and that's a 1-2-3 third for Dean Kramer. He's allowed just 1 base runner so far through 3, and he has 4 strikeouts. We'll go to the 4th. No score on the Orioles Radio Network.
I tell you what, Oriole fans are in for a treat because we were at the ballpark walking around today in their new executive level down below. This is what makes the Truist Club so great because you don't have to meander your way through long concourses, bob and weave through different areas of a ballpark. You literally show up to Camden Yards, you get to the elevator, and you walk right in, and the Truist Club gives you a view of the ballpark. You don't have that anywhere else.
Colton Cowser batting, and he takes a strike 1 from Gavin Williams on 1.
Learn more about the Truist Club by going to Orioles.com/Truist Club.
That's Ben. I'm Brett. Baseball on the radio from Cleveland, Ohio. Cowser takes a ball, 1-1. The 4th inning is brought to you by Toyota. Shop Toyota for legendary style and reliability, starting with the all-new RAV4. Shop Toyota.com for details and deals on your favorite Toyota. Let's go places. The 1-1. Cowser cutting a miss. 1-2 to Colton, who struck out in his first at-bat. Right now, Gavin Williams has 6 punch-outs being 3. Kramer is starting to pile those up as well. He's at 4. No score. Top of the 4th. The pitch. Cowser takes the ball outside. 2-2 to Colton. Right now, it's kind of interesting. His strikeouts are way down by percentage, and his walks are up. That's really good. But he's just not hitting it in the air a whole lot. The 2-2, and that's a called strike 3. Got it on the inside corner at 97. Cowser's shaking his head. The Orioles have just 1 challenge left. So you got to keep that in your back pocket right now.
The center fielder, number 30.
Cowser has struck out twice. Williams has 7 strikeouts. Cowser struck out twice looking. Now, maybe if you still have that challenge, you can burn 1 there, but with 1 left, you cannot.
Yeah, it looked like a strike, too, on the box.
Tavares batting, and he takes a 4-seamer down 1-0.
Gavin Williams is pretty locked in tonight.
They find pitching here. They always do. They draft it, and they develop it. Ramirez well in at 3rd, thinking maybe a Tavares bunt could be in order. Tavares gets into 1, deep right field. DeLauder's back. He's out of room, and that baby's long gone. Leody Tavares with a home run. His first as an Oriole, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. This guy is something else. Right now, the steal of the offseason. Leody Tavares, a under-the-radar move when the World Series came to an end. He's hitting about 400 right now, and he's driving the ball. He's walking a ton, and he's playing great defense. Rose ahead 1-0. Basayo Gets jammed. He fouls it back behind home plate. 0-1.
What a swing from Leody Taveras. He got a curveball on the inside third and just turned on it. Beautiful left-handed swing from Leody, who's having an incredible series. We mentioned how he broke up the no-hitter on Thursday. Pivotal walk in the comeback last night. And now the long ball.
He's already walked in his first plate appearance. Basayo takes a strike on the inside corner. Nothing in 2. That was like the big boys do it. 107 off the bat, 400 feet to straightaway right. 0-2 to Samuel Basayo. It's kind of like how Big Sam does it. Leody Taveras. And right now, Craig Alvarez is barking something at the home plate umpire, Mark Wegner. Not sure what. Gavin Williams, his pitch. Basayo pops this up. Third base, Jose Ramirez on the edge of the outfield grass, now on the infield dirt. He makes the catch. 2 down. Finally, an early lead for Baltimore.
Yeah, this is weird.
Number 16, Kobe Mayo.
Kobe Mayo will bat. 2 outs, bases empty. The Orioles have 3 hits without hitting Cleveland. A strike to Mayo, and it's 0-1. Williams delivers. Mayo hits a ground ball sharply back in the bag at third. Jose Ramirez, a long throw to first. It's in the dirt, and it is dug out at first base by Manzardo. A really nice play on both ends, and Mayo is retired, but the Orioles strike first tonight. A solo homer for Leody Taveras. And it's 1-0 Baltimore as we go to the bottom of the 4th on the Orioles Radio Network.
Conclusions at carshield.com.
The Orioles now with 19 home runs this season. Home run count is brought to you by Ground Loop Geothermal. This season, not all the magic is on the field, but under, let the ground you walk on heat and cool your home. 1-0 O's, bottom of the 4th. A solo homer by Leody Taveras got the Orioles on the board. And so far, through 3, Kramer's been magnificent. Swing and a miss. Chase to Lauder. Chases a splitter that was in the dirt. 0-1. Kramer has walked just one batter. That's the only base runner, and it was a, well, I'll call a wise walk of Jose Ramirez. The Lauder hits a ground ball slowly to Henderson at shortstop. He waits for it, fires to first in plenty of time, and DeLauder is retired to begin this bottom of the 4th. And here's Jose Ramirez. You see, coaching first right now is Sandy Alomar Jr., who's been in this organization for multiple lifetimes, it seems. He's a really good catcher here, part of those juggernaut Indians teams of the 90s into the 2000s. this team, this franchise, has been really good since the middle 90s. Very consistent. They've done it in different ways, really with superstars in the middle and late 90s. Ball outside to Jose Ramirez, 1-0. But Sandy Alomar, a big part of it. I think when people think about the family, they think about his Hall of Fame brother, but he's been such a big deal in the game, both as a player and a coach. The 1-0. There's a strike to Jose Ramirez, 1-1. But I interviewed him earlier today. What a gentleman. I never met him before. And we talked about not only that rivalry, it was on the pregame show if you missed it. Shame on you. The 1-1. Swing and a miss on a big uppercut swing on a curveball, 1-2. Well, we talked about, we mentioned this the other night, when Parker Messick went 8 no-hit innings, that Sandy Alomar broke up a Mike Mussina perfect game in the 9th inning with 1 out at Camden Yards on May 30th, 1997. One of the best games ever pitched in Orioles history. And then a year later, almost to the day, he had a comebacker right to Mussina that knocked him out of the game. The 1-2 up and away for a ball, 2-2. And that was gruesome. And Sandy said it, essentially kept him up at night. He called the hospital, wanted to be in touch with Mike on it. To Mike's credit, eventually got back on the mound, had a Hall of Fame career, but that's one of those things that could end you. It was so scary. Just off the plate outside for a ball, 3-2 to Jose Ramirez. But he said it was one of the worst, most terrifying experiences he's ever had in baseball.
I loved your conversation with him. I hope it was healing for you, too, by the way.
There was some healing. But at the end of the conversation, as the 3-2 comes home to Jose Ramirez, a big chopper slowly hit to the right side. Jeremiah Jackson charges, underheads it to Alonso at first, and he got the out. Nice play by Jeremiah Jackson. Jose Ramirez from the left side, quick out of the batter's box. Really good read on that ground ball from Jeremiah. 2 up, 2 down for Kramer and the Orioles in the bottom of the 4th. But interestingly enough, at the end of the interview, Sandy says, you got to meet this coach we have. He's the outfield base running coach. His name is J.T. McGuire. He's from Jarrettsville, Maryland. As this is hit in the air, it will hang up for Dylan Beavers a few steps in, and he'll make the catch. And Kyle Manzardo is retired. Another 1-2-3 inning for Kramer. He is rolling. 4 no-hit innings for the Dean Machine. And we'll finish the story on J.T. McGuire when we come back. No score as we go to the 5th on the Orioles Radio Network.
Talking bad on your exes, say he need exorcist. And you got your textures in texture tints. Can't see my regrets in this. I was venting, AC in your messages. And so cold dreams you was wetting them. And this split so deep, this honey that you blessed me with. So sweet, I need to check my grip. Reality switch, that's risky. How you go flip it this dick, then you miss me. Mystic Prince must have mixed up this medley.
And then the comebacker, Ben Wagner, he was telling me about a coach for Cleveland, J.T. McGuire. He was at both of those games. Isn't that incredible?
I can feel the pain for you and the pain for him. Swinging a foul back by Jeremiah Jackson. That's strike 1 on J.J. Did you have a chance to talk to J.T.?
I did. He took me into the coach's room to meet him. It was so nice. And we have a lot of mutual friends in baseball, and from Baltimore, he knows Gavin Sheets and your buddy Ryan Ripken really well.
Ground ball towards the middle of the diamond. Diving stop made by Rocchio. Pops up from his belly. Throws to first in time. Great defensive play by Brian Rocchio. They've got some interchangeable parts defensively here in Cleveland. Rocchio and Schneemann could flip-flop at any moment and make the same play. Last night, Schneemann did do it against the Birds. Tonight, Rocchio does it. There's one down.
Yeah, McGuire was born in Baltimore, grew up in Jarrettsville, coached at the Park School. Really a nice young guy in baseball, but I promised him I'd give his whole family a shout-out tonight.
Are you guys the same age?
We're about the same age. He's a little younger.
In your 20s.
Yeah, right.
No kidding.
And so if anyone knows JT McGuire and his family, tell them that we said hello from the Orioles broadcast booth. They grew up huge Orioles fans.
Gunnar Henderson at the plate, takes down and away, and then takes inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And he told me specifically, and I can really relate to this, that his grandmother grew up a diehard Mike Mussina fan to the point where they did not miss a start from the Moose.
The 1-1, swinging a foul back. So this took a lot of doing because clearly here, JT McGuire and the household, they were plotting out the days. They were grabbing the newspaper, planning to look ahead. You're planning the rotation. You're buying your tickets based on the starting pitching matchups.
And although I wasn't there those 2 nights, we did that in the Hollander household for Moose days.
The 1-2 pitch, Henderson goes down swinging. Another strikeout for Gavin Williams. He's now fanned 8.
They used to do these videos at Camden Yards, Heroes of Birdland or Camden Heroes. I think they changed the name a few times. There was always one that ran on days Mike Mussina pitched. Well, my parents were in Maine at some point, Moose Country. And I think they got a bumper sticker that said the Moose is loose, and they brought it to Camden Yards.
Taylor Ward.
And someone on the production team got my dad holding up that sign. That lived in that segment at Camden Yards for like 10 years.
Taylor Ward takes downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Camden Yard, I'm YouTubing. Camden Yards bumper sticker, Moose is loose. Yeah.
It was a really nice in-between innings thing.
The 1-1 pitch, down and away, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I bet Johnny G remembers those.
Oh, now, hold on. Were you more surprised to see your dad's bumper sticker on the video board at that time or when you saw him during the last homestand on the video board?
That was weird, on the big Jumbotron. This is in the old days, a really small little box out in center field.
The 2-1 pitch, fouled away off to our right. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Birds on top, 1-0. Leody Taveras with a solo home run. His first as an Oriole. The Moose is loose.
I think it's something like that.
Where is it?
Oh, I don't know where that bumper sticker is. It actually was.
It's somewhere.
It definitely made it to some wall in my parents' house at some point. There's no question about that. It was green. I remember it well. But they thought it was so clever. They would bring in our day Mike Mussina pitched.
The 2-2 pitch to Ward, down and away, and count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Of course, I wanted to be Mike Mussina, realized I couldn't, and thought broadcasting was the next best thing. I've even told Ben McDonald that Mike was my favorite pitcher. And I was not alone.
3-2 coming to Ward. Ground ball towards the middle of the diamond, hustling to his left. Sucked up by Rocchio. Fired over to first in time. And another 1-2-3 frame turned in by a pitcher tonight here in Cleveland. This time it's Gavin Williams. But the leader in today's ball game is Dean Kramer. 1-0 midway through the 5th on the Orioles Radio Network.
still another level. Eyes in the back of my head, on the move, on the rise, no signs up ahead. I'ma push through, it's divine, it was said that it's gonna shake soon. Keep your mind on the bread. Nothing changed, how they had one dream. Any mind call, get whatever they need. Hop on that plane when I want a quick breathe. Hop in my bag if you want a 16 from the past.
Step teams plus DJ Porkchop live pregame at Legends Park from 5:30 to 6:30. Grab your special ticket package that includes a limited edition bucket hat at Orioles.com/HBCU.
That's Fred Hollander. I'm Ben Wagner. Get underway in the home fifth inning, and Dean Kramer misses down and away. Ball one on
Pitch is
George
called a
Valera.
strike. The batter is challenging.
The batter is challenging. This is coming from Valera. And it is a strike on the outside corner.
The call is correct. Cleveland has one challenge remaining.
This fifth inning is being brought to you by Navy Football. Purchase your season, group, and single game tickets at NavySports.com. 1-0. Leody Taveras with the long ball. Kramer's having a great night. A ground ball in the middle of the diamond. Waiting on it at second. Jeremiah Jackson's got it. Sidearm toss over to first. And Kramer continues to roll. Now 11 in a row retired. 1, 2, 3, second, third, fourth, and he's starting the fifth. Kramer is a one-man fast play right now, brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Play fast play home run riches at the Maryland Lottery all season long. Rhys Hoskins, the hitter. One of the 4 strikeout victims for the right-hander tonight. His pitch, splitters low, ball 1. Orioles with the lead in all 3 hits. Infield relaxed. The pitch. Missed in tight. Borderline pitch. Goes in favor of Hoskins. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Kramer's a little frustrated, but the Orioles don't want to burn that second challenge. I'm looking at the body language as he stepped on the backside of the bump. Thought maybe that clipped the inside corner. The 2-0. That's low. Sinker missing. And for the first time tonight, it's 3-0. Kramer won over the minimum. He issued a 2-out walk to Jose Ramirez. .3-0 coming to the plate. And he zips over a fastball taken for a strike. No way Hoskins was swinging the bat there. He was taking all the way. Looked very relaxed in the right-handed batter's box. 1 out, nobody on, and a 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Went after the splitter. That's a righty-on-righty splitter. And not that Dean hasn't done that before, but as this has become a really big pitch in the arsenal of more relief pitchers, it's a primary weapon in opposite-handedness. So a right-handed pitcher against a left-handed hitter, and vice versa. But Kramer's working this like some of the great splits in the game. Now the 3-2 to Hoskins, and he dribbles it away foul. And back to the splitter. Got caught out in front, just got a piece of it, keeps the bat alive. Three balls and 2 strikes. Hoskins batting 6 for Cleveland tonight. Back into the wine. Kramer fires. And a swing and a line drive up the left field line, hooked into the seats. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, went to 3-0. Then the battle really started. Kramer got aggressive in the zone. A fastball and a sinker. Hoskins then had to battle the splitters. What's coming next? 8th pitch of the at-bat. And it's high for ball 4. There was a check swing. The appeal goes to first. And Hoskins wins and works a 1-out walk. So for the first time since the first inning, there's a runner for Cleveland. Snaps the string of 11 in a row retired. The batter is Daniel Schneemann, left-handed hitter. Wait back on that left leg, and he swings and misses at the first pitch, strike 1. Schneemann, for the briefest of moments, looked like he was going to be the hero last night. Cranked the grand slam, an absolute no-doubter into the bleachers and right. That victory lap was short-lived. The 0-1 bounced in, swatted by Basayo, but no aggressive advance. Hoskins doesn't run that well. 1 ball and 1 strike. Long pause in between pitches. And the 1-1. Swinging a line drive into right field. That's a base hit. Beavers hustles over next to the line. He'll scoop it up. Rounding second on his way to third goes Hoskins on a sharp line drive base hit from Schneemann. That's the very first hit tonight by a Guardian hitter. 4 1/3, just 2 over the minimum. And the first one to find some clean turf is off the bat of Schneemann. And the tying run is over at third base with 1 down. Orioles are going to huddle up on the backside of the bump. The entire infield is drawn around. Samuel Basayo doing a lot of the conversing here. Now with Dean Kramer as well. They're certainly plotting something. Big conversation. Drew French stays tucked away in the dugout along with manager Craig Albernaz.
First and third here. Cleveland notorious for bunt plays and any way you can get a run on the board. It's only a 1-run game here. Hoskins, though, does not run well at third.
I'm sure they're talking about a number of things. The running game, the back pick situation, what they do if there's a bunt with Bo Naylor, who's not swinging it that well. He is going to swing here. Showed no signs of bunting, and he takes a strike on a sinker. 0-1.
Dean's been fairly efficient at 71 pitches. Both these bullpens taxed big time last night.
Orioles desperately want something on the ground. 1 out here in the 5th, leading 1-0. Swing and a miss by Naylor. No balls and 2 strikes on Bo, who lined out, leading off the 3rd.
Well, now you go for the strikeout.
It's been a good splitter tonight from Kramer. Will he lean on it against the young left-handed hitter? 0 for 5 in the series. And here it comes. And it's on the outside corner, strike 3 called. He got him with the splitter. A massive strikeout for Kramer and company. His 5th of the night. 2 away here in the 5th.
And it was a strike. Naylor looked frustrated, but that was 100% a strike.
It was a perfect pitch. A perfect splitter on the bottom outside corner on Bo Naylor. Now 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. Brian Rocchio, the batter. Outfield lined up straight away. Henderson does drift towards the middle of the diamond from short. Mayo a little closer to the third base bag than usual in this situation because of the runner. Pitched by Dean over the inside, a called strike. Well, it looks like he's doing what he wants right now with that splitter. He is working it in and out on both right-handed and left-handed batters. To the 0-1. That's downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. And every pitcher has their preferences, whether they like to pitch with really hot, humid conditions, if they like a little heat. Some guys do like to throw in a little chillier conditions. You wonder if that splitter, because of the nature of the atmosphere right now, it's chilly. Has a little slickness on it. Usually when the baseball gets cold, it gets a little bit more slick. 1-1. Up and away. Missed with a fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Baltimore. Last of the 5th for Cleveland. The go-ahead run is at first. The tying run stands at third. And the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Way out in front of that splitter. That might have been one of the fewest velocity splitters that we have seen. at 81 miles an hour.
Remember, this field did take in some rain. Kramer's going to kick his spikes after every pitch on the back of the mound.
2-2 coming, and a fastball hit high in the air, out to right field. Beaver's back, next to the wall. He leaps in the air, and it's gone. A devastating fifth inning. After it looked so promising, Rocchio connects for his third of the season. It's a go-ahead 3-run homer. A high arcing drive out to deep right field. Rocchio played in the big part of the ballpark with his first long drive of the night. This one he yanks out to deep right field, and he got it to the seats. Beavers had a beat on it, timed his leap perfectly, but he can't climb high enough.
Wasn't a terrible pitch. I'm not even sure if it was a strike.
Here's the leadoff man, Stephen Kwan. He takes low, ball 1.
Fastball kind of up and in. I don't know how he got the barrel to it.
Kramer facing Kwan for the third time. The ball 1 pitch. Low. 2 balls and no strikes.
Pretty much right where Dean wanted it. On the inside black, it was a strike. Really tough pitch to hit. More in on the hands than anything else.
The 2-0. That's over for a called strike. Ryan Rocchio's third of the year out of the number 9 hole. Go ahead 3-run homer here in the 5th. The 2-1. Fastball fouled away off to the left. 2 balls and 2 strikes. All the scoring with the long ball tonight. Leody Taveras made it 1-0. His shot in the 4th. Now in the 5th, the 3-run homer. 2-2. Bounce to the plate. Kwan has fly to center and struck out looking. Right-hander fires. Swing and a miss by Kwan. He fades to a knee. A rare strikeout looking tonight, and now a rare strikeout swinging by Kwan. The side is retired, but Cleveland gets the first hit of the night against Dean Kramer in the 5th inning, and they get their first runs of the night here in the 5th to take a 3-1 lead as we go to the 6th on the Orioles Radio Network.
He walks. Swing and a miss. Alonso is struck out for a third time. And now 9 punch-outs for Gavin Williams. The 6th inning is brought to you by PNC. Patience is a winning strategy in baseball and banking. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. 3-1, Cleveland ahead of Baltimore. Can the Orioles get on that comeback trail again? Big Gavin Williams delivers ball 1 to Dylan Beavers. He has also struck out twice against Williams. Cleveland bullpen came into this series struggling, and they've had a tough few days, particularly yesterday. A strike 2 to Beavers, 1-1, or I should say strike 1 to Beavers on a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Dylan. Williams, he can get wild, but not tonight. Beavers loops his foul out of play off to the left. 1-2. Orioles bullpen quiet. It looks like it will be Kramer in the 6th. The 1-2 pitch, high for a ball, 2-2. Williams, only 26 years old. Another drafted and developed pitcher out of the Guardians organization, the 23rd overall pick by Cleveland out of ECU in 21. The 2-2. This is hit foul out of play off to the left. It's weird. This is a weird story, Wag. Stay with me on this.
Okay.
Our flight to Kansas City tomorrow, long enough to watch a movie. I don't know, 2+ hours. I make a big list and I try and go through it every season for shows and movies. Probably pretty standard in this industry. The 2-2. Beavers hits on the ground slowly to first base. Manzardo has it. He'll take it to the bag himself. Beavers are tired, 2 down. And now Cowser will bat, 3-1. Guardians in the top of the 6th. A movie I've not seen in years and years and years, and I am not sure if I've actually seen all of it. I downloaded the movie Cape Fear. Robert De Niro, well-acclaimed movie from 1991. I like to go back and watch some old stuff. Not that that's that old.
You've dusted off a lot in the 90s.
Yes.
In the last 12 hours.
I like to go back, yes. Cowser cutting a miss on 1. And then I'm getting my notes ready for Gavin Williams. Saw him pitch the last few years a few times. But I'm going over everything about him in his bio. The 0-1. Cowser takes a strike in the inside corner, 0-2. And I see born Fayetteville, North Carolina, and he went to Cape Fear High School. This is seconds after I hit download on the movie on Amazon Prime. Seconds. The 0-2. Cowser looks at a ball that just missed off the plate, 1-2.
I'm sorry. You download Cape Fear.
Yes.
And this guy is...
I transfer Gavin Williams from my Guardians team page to my notes today, Cape Fear High School. The 1-2. Cowser hits it softly towards first base. It will roll foul, picked up by Manzardo by the first base coach's box.
For the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Don't shake anybody's hand.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to watch that flick tomorrow on the flight to KC as now Albert Suarez loosens up in the Baltimore pen. He was a part of it's come back last Monday on a Dean Kramer start. Cowser takes a called strike 3. A curveball on the outside corner. Cowser down on strikes, and Gavin Williams has punched out 10 through 6. And for the 6th time, he's into double digits in his Major League career. Impressive tonight. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th in Cleveland. 3-1 Guardians on the Orioles Radio Network.
deadlier. Pockets heavier. Trying to reach that top when I own my spot and I'm finna break barriers. Break barriers, break barriers. Ain't too many play fair with us. I don't wanna hear what they telling us. Niggas hating they jelly us, they jelly us, they jelly us. Need new friends, no enemies. Nobody stealing my energy. I ain't really giving out sympathy, no sympathy. I said I've been there, right in front of them, right in front of them, right in. I said I need that, I need all of them, I need all of them, I said I've been there, right in front of them, right in front of them, right in. I said I need that, I need all of them, I need all of them, I need all of them. I said I've been it, trying to perfect my image, and I make this look easy. Really don't got no limits, really don't got.
In the fifth, Kramer started falling behind a little bit, and that's what got him with Rocchio. It was 3-0, then 3-1, and then he pitched a fastball on the inner half of the plate, right on the inside corner that Rocchio got to and hit out to right. Popped up in foul territory. Mayo crossing over in the third base coach's box. He makes the catch. DeLauder retired on a pop out to Mayo. One away in the bottom of the sixth. And right now with the Orioles down, the margin of error here for Kramer is almost none. Jose Ramirez will bat. You got to be very careful here. Ramirez walked and then he grounded out to second base. You love for Dean to get through six. It would be a quality start for Kramer if he can get through six and does not allow another run. And stuff-wise, the early returns for Kramer in 26 have been very good. A strike there on the inner half, 0-1. I mean, the Orioles have not had too many starters complete six this year. It's only happened a handful of times.
It's Trevor Rogers. That's the list.
Yeah. So that is an accomplishment in the modern game. The 0-1 ripped towards first base. Somehow scooped up by Alonso. He'll flip it to Kramer on the bag for the out. Alonso does it again at the other hot corner, first base, with the left-handed batter Ramirez smoking one there. And somehow, some way, Alonso makes another play. That was just snared back of the bag, 105 off the bat, and then he kind of hobbled to his feet. Thought about taking himself, but eventually did the smart thing and found his pitcher right where he was supposed to be. And Kramer completes the out on the back, 2 away. I don't care what any computer says. Pete Alonso can play a good first base.
I told Pete the other day, I have appreciated your defense more than I ever would have thought. Only because I get to watch you play every day.
2 outs, bases empty, Manzardo the batter. And a strike to Manzardo, 0-1. That was sizzled and ticketed for the right field corner. Guardians with only 2 hits versus Kramer. Unfortunately, 1 left the ball yard. That skips in. 1-1 to Manzardo. Dean right now at 92 pitches towards the end of the line here. The 1-1 to Manzardo. Roller foul towards first base. 1-2. Dean went 5 innings in his first start. That was that comeback win last Monday against the Diamondbacks. Struck out 9 in that game. He has 6 so far tonight. The 1-2. Way up and away. That one slipped out of the hand of Kramer. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes for Dean. Three to 1 Guardians, bottom of the 6th. The 2-2. Outside for a ball, 3-2. Missed with a curveball. You have the left-handed bat of George Valera on deck. This could be it for Kramer. And his 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Put him away at the splitter. Great bounce-back inning for Kramer, aided by a great defensive play at first by Pete Alonso. So Kramer gets his quality start. He punches out 7 in 6, and we are 6 complete here in Cleveland, Ohio. 3-1 Guardians on the Orioles Radio Network.
Got enough of this fever, I know. Nothing would remain and you don't wanna go, so go. Cause you're picking your pace, no time to waste. I wanna love you but life doesn't wait. You can't stay here and waste away. You need to taste every mistake, fall out and get up again and again. Again and again and again and again. I'll be with you always. You don't need to be afraid. And I'll meet you up, I'll meet you at the. I'll be with you always. You don't need to be afraid. I'll meet you at the end. Don't you know what happens to dreams you don't follow? They crumble. You know I can't stay what you're getting so hollow. So go. Cause you're picking your pace, no time to waste. I wanna love you but life doesn't wait. You can't stay here and waste away. You need to taste every mistake, fall out and get up again and again. Again and again and again and again. I'll be with you always. You don't need to be afraid. And I'll meet you up, I'll meet you at the. I'll be with you always. You don't need to be afraid. I'll meet you at the end.
No. Innings 1 through 3, Wags. The Orioles are 27th in baseball in total runs. Inside of Basayo, they're saying he went as he twisted out of the way. A check swing, and Basayo technically could not hold up, and it's 1-1. Only 17 total runs in the first 3 innings. Innings 7, 8, and 9, the Orioles have scored 32 runs. They're in 8th place. Basayo, a big swing and a miss. 1 and 2. Now, the only logic there is it's against bullpens, but even by that standard, that's the case for everybody else. And the Orioles have scored a ton of runs late in games. Hunter Gaddis, who was electric last night, is warming up for the Guardians. The 1-2. Rolled foul towards first base. It remains 1 and 2 to Samuel Basayo. But as far as not producing early in ball games, that is a problem. The 1-2. Basayo gets called out on strikes. Thought about challenging. They only have 1 left and stays in. Say a few words to Mark Wegner, who barks back at 21-year-old Samuel Basayo. And now Craig Albarnez out of the Orioles dugout to make sure his catcher doesn't get tossed. And Basayo would have been right. That sweeper was outside, but the reason the Orioles only have 1 challenge is because he burned one very early in the game as a catcher. Mayo looks at a called strike on 1. Mayo 0 for 2. Robbed his last time. Baltimore down by 2, 3-1. Mayo hits it on the ground to Ramirez, takes a weird hop for him, slings it to first base, and it's dug out in the back end by the first baseman Manzardo. Another 1-2-3 frame for Gavin Williams. He has been spectacular tonight, holding the Orioles to just one run, and we'll stretch it out in Cleveland. It's brought to you by MedStar Health. MedStar Health is proud to be the trusted medical team of the Orioles for over 10 years. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people. 3-1 Guardians going to the last of the seventh on the Orioles Radio Network.
Forever, always walking beside me. Walking beside me. Forever, always walking beside me. I'll keep on going to your cloud up in the sky. I feel your heart and know that there's a plan. I trust your word that your grace and mercy are right behind, and we're gonna make it there to the promised land. Oh, you're faithful to the end, closer than a friend, and your love will never fail. In every season you are there, faithful to the end. Oh God, you never left in my heaven or my hell. Forever, always walking beside me.
Kramer, 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. He allowed a 3-run homer to Brian Rocchio in the 5th. That gave Cleveland the lead as Albert Suarez delivers a ball 1 to George Valera, 1-0. Kramer threw 95 pitches, 58 strikes. A quality start for Dean in his second outing of the year, and a rare start for the Orioles that goes 6 innings. Up and away for a ball, 2-0. Suarez making his 4th appearance. He last pitched on Monday back at Kramer. That was that amazing comeback with the Orioles down 7-1. It looked like mop-up duty, and he ended up getting the win. A pop-up off the bat of Valera. Alonso down from first base. He's about to collide with Valera. He avoids him somehow, and in foul ground, makes the catch. That could have been ugly. You don't want to be run over by that truck. 1 away. So, Suarez, who did not make the open day roster, has already earned a save and a win. Just his 4th outing of the year. Kind of amazing for the veteran right-hander. Rhys Hoskins, a strike, as he looks at a fastball from Big Al, Albert Suarez. 0-1, and my guess is, Wags, that if the Orioles can't make a move offensively in this game, Big Al might be pitching for the rest of it. That one just missed down, 1-1. I mean, we'll see if they come back and maybe scratch out a run. That might alter the plan, or if they tie the game, it certainly would. But right now, the bullpen could almost use a day. This is popped up, fading foul off to our right and into the seats, 1-2. The bullpen for both of these teams really worked last night. Feels a lot better for the Orioles because they won the game. And their 2 biggest leverage guys, Rico Garcia and Ryan Helsley, did their jobs. But it's 12 games in 12 days for the Orioles. The 1-2 pitch to Rhys Hoskins. 1 out, base is empty. That bounced in 2-2.
The save that you mentioned was this exact scenario. Reverse on the scoreboard, but hey, go in, pick up the final 3 innings. That was the save. Orioles were leading. That was also the plan before the big comeback. And Albert was hurt in that outing against the Diamondbacks.
In the dirt for a ball, 3-2.
Nolan Arenado cranked his second home run of the ball game on Monday. Arizona went up 7-1. And then offensively, Baltimore flipped the script.
The 3-2 pitch from Big Al. Slow roller towards third base. Mayo charging in. He'll scoop it up in foul ground. It's a foul ball. And Hoskins will have to return to the batter's box. The call of the bullpen was brought to you by the auto loan experts at Point Breeze Credit Union, celebrating 90 years in your neighborhood. We'll do the payoff pitch again. As the skies have cleared above downtown Cleveland, it is breezy, it is cool. It was a very rainy afternoon, and the top was on the field until about 45 minutes before first pitch. The 3-2 to Hoskins. Poked foul out of play off to the right. A Saturday night in Cleveland with a Sunday matinee tomorrow before the Orioles head to Kansas City, Missouri to start a 3-game set with the struggling Royals on Monday evening. Time is called by Rhys Hoskins. But thank you all for being with us on this Saturday night. As always, we appreciate it. I think there's something in the eye of Rhys Hoskins. He gets time granted from the home plate umpire, Mark Wegner, and he's trying to get whatever is in his eye out of it. Now he's in the box. 3-2 from Big Al. The pitch. Smoke to shortstop, and Henderson makes the catch head high. Perhaps in self-defense or self-preservation, he is able to catch that liner that was hit very sharply on the screws. 2 down. 104 off the bat, right to Henderson. He barely had to move an inch. And even Henderson, you look at his face after he caught it, that hurt. That ball caught him. Schneemann takes one down and in for a ball, 1-0. Remember, you can always get in touch with us on X, on Twitter, at Brett Hollander for me and Wags. What's your handle?
Ben Wag 247.
We love it when you check in with us, wherever you might be listening, and however you might be listening. The 1-0 to Schneemann. Swing and a miss. Good changeup there by Albert Suarez, and it's 1-1. Guardians 3, O's 1. Suarez from the line. His pitch. Down and away for a ball. Went back to the change. 2-1. For the Orioles, 6 outs to play with. It can be a lot, we've learned so far this year. Swing and a miss. He tripled up on the changeup, and it's 2-2. It won't be easy. Hunter Gaddis will likely enter this game. He was electric last night. Nearly had an immaculate inning. Threw 7 strikes coming out of the gate. The 2-2. A called strike 3. Got him with a fastball. And a 1-2-3-7 for Big Al. Albert Suarez does his job. And we're 7 complete in downtown Cleveland. 3-1 Guardians as we roll on to the 8th on the Orioles Radio Network.
Moving on.
mascot meet and greets, live entertainment, kids run the bases, and more. Plan your Sunday at the yard at Orioles.com/Family Sundays. 3-1, Guardians ahead. Baltimore 6 outs to work with, and the man, Jeremiah Jackson, strolling to the plate against a new Cleveland pitcher.
He was fantastic last night, a 3-run home run for the Orioles that completely put them in the win column with his 5th of the year. Tonight, Jeremiah Jackson starts the 3rd at bat. Wide to right his first time up, leading off in the 3rd inning. In the 5th inning, he bounced out to the shortstop after Brian Rocchio made a great defensive play. Now Gaddis in the first pitch, swing and a miss by Jackson. That is strike 1. Yesterday was the 2nd appearance for Gaddis and his home debut, and he was filthy. Just activated off the injured list with a right forearm strain. Suffered it in spring training, the 0-1. Bounced to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jeremiah Jackson. He was followed by Gunnar Henderson and Taylor Ward. Time to heat up the bats. Orioles have 3 hits. They've actually out-hit Cleveland today, but the big flies, reason that this game has a score. Taveras and the number 9 hitter, Brian Rocchio. Swing and a miss by Jeremiah Jackson. He's behind 1-2. Time called. The right-handed batter steps away. Adjusts that arm guard over his left elbow. Now he's ready to face Gaddis. The big guy closes up, tilted towards third. And the 1-2 pitch. Down the middle but low. Good take by JJ. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A ball game that Gavin Williams started was within 1 of his career-high 12 strikeouts. Went through 7 fantastic frames. The pitch. Gaddis misses low. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Jeremiah Jackson trying to get aboard any way he can. Of course, you love the contact, but right now, a walk is just as good. The Birds are on the comeback trail. The 3-2 pitch from Gaddis. Punched out a play off to a right. He's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Take a look at what's going on the farm, presented by Royal Farms. Don't forget your Orioles Cup the next time you fill up at Royal Farms. Enjoy discounted drinks all year long, only for the O's, only at Royal Farms. A couple of Major League rehabs happening tonight. 3-2. Pulled towards third, hugs the line, goes over the bag, foul. Now, hold on a second. Yeah. Jose Ramirez completed that play. But Mark Wagner, the home plate umpire, had his mask kind of pointing at Gaddis whether or not he wanted a baseball to get his attention. Ramirez may have indicated I thought maybe that ball was called fair, so he went ahead and completed the play. Whatever. Jeremiah Jackson's coming back. It was called foul, so we'll do it again at 3-2. Dietrich Enns is with AAA Norfolk down on the farm. He begins his Major League rehab assignment, and Jackson Holiday had his restarted tonight and is 0 for 3 at the plate. 3-2 to Jeremiah Jackson. Swing and a miss. Got him with a slider. And that's the 12th strikeout for the Orioles tonight. 1 up and 1 down here in the 8th.
The shortstop, number 2, Gunnar Henderson.
Orioles are down 3-1. Gunnar Henderson is 1 for 3 at the plate tonight. A couple of strikeouts, and in between, a base hit to right. Gaddis deals outside, ball 1. Orioles had a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the first inning. They had 1 down and a throwing error, got 2 in scoring position in the third. Their best shot to score tonight. The 1-0. Inside corner called strike. Evens the count of 1-1. They had cracks in the first, cracks in the third. The long ball got him on the board in the fourth. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch. Henderson fouls it away. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the leadoff man. He's now played in 26 games here in Cleveland, Ohio against the Guardians. And he has swung the bat well in this ballpark. 12 extra base hits. The 1-2. Anderson takes down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cloud cover really starting to lighten over the skyline here in Cleveland, and we're getting a very nice sunset out beyond the high wall and left. 2-2. Fouled away off third base side.
But it is getting colder by the moment.
Yes, it is.
It'll be a very cool day here tomorrow. We've been really fortunate for the most part in April this season with all of our more East Coast and Northern trips throughout March and April this year.
Knocking on wood. Or for Micah. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball out to deep right field. Doesn't have enough. DeLauder's feeling for the wall. It is gone! A majestic drive from the bat of Gunnar Henderson. His 7th of the season. A high arcing drive through this chilly Cleveland air. Pulls Baltimore within a run. It's 3-2.
Now batting for Baltimore, left fielder.
I wasn't sure it had enough to get out of here. We have seen plenty of baseballs die out on the warning track as it gets colder and colder and colder. That one did have enough muscle on it. Here's Taylor Ward. Swings and fouls it back, strike 1. Gaddis gives up the long ball. Gunnar Henderson had just been 4 for his last 31. A little bit of a homer drought from where he was 10 days ago. 0-1 pitch. Way outside for the right-hander. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You could see when he had the base hit earlier in the game in the third, he was relieved. He's really been feeling for it. I think he's hitting some bad luck as well, but he was so hot for a while and really cooled off.
1-1. Poured right over for a cold strike, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Henderson kind of, in a fun nature, was gesturing back towards the dugout on the first base side, pumping his fists into the air like, yeah, guys, look at me. Oh, look at me now. Another home run for Henderson. 1-2 to Ward. Bounce to the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Wags, if you're Stephen Vogt and the Guardians right now, you're thinking, here we go again. This bullpen has just been a disaster so far this year, despite having some accomplished names and great resumes.
One is on the mound right now in Gaddis. The 2-2 pitch. Ward fouls it away at home plate. Gaddis was as advertised when we saw him in his home debut and just his second appearance of the season last night. It's what happened after. Connor Brogdon, Sean Armstrong, they were dreadful. Guardians have 6 blown lead losses this year. The 2-2. Swinging a hard ground ball out to the shortstop. Step to his right. Rocchio picks it up. A lollipop on a bounce over to first. Boy, that was weird. Handled on the bounce by Manzardo. Ward is out. Rocchio is kind of smiling about what he threw over to first base.
That was like a beer league softball throw. I'm not sure what we just saw, but I think Ward's going to regret slowing down a little bit here. I think he was as shocked as anybody. But that was weird.
Pete Alonso steps in with 2 outs. The pitch. On the inside corner, strike 1.
By the way, the Guardians' bullpen ERA, as we speak, 5.55. That is the 6th worst in baseball.
Alonso swings and misses. And he wants that one back. He completely sold out. Missed that slider badly. Quiet with the bat tonight. He's been great again with the glove. That never takes a day off. The 0-2, down and away. A couple of those diving stops. Tonight's greatest plays on grass. Looking for an easy way to upgrade your lawn this season? Go with Pennington Grass Seed, the official partner of the Baltimore Orioles grounds crew. Pennington Grass Seed. The grass is greener. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. We're in the 8th. Gaddis to Alonso, and Pete swings and misses. He's down on strikes for the 4th time tonight. The inning comes to a close. Henderson has him back on the board. He gets Baltimore back within 1. It's the Guardians, a 3-2 lead midway through the 8th on the Orioles Radio Network. Solo home runs tonight. Albert Suarez back to work in the second frame. It's the number 8 hitter in Bo Naylor. He swings and fouls the first pitch back. Strike 1 on Naylor, who's lined to second and struck out looking. The pitch. Outside. Dean Kramer had a nice night. Quality start. Only hurt by Brian Rocchio's 3-run home run. It happened with 2 down in the 5th. 1-1. Swinging a high fly ball up the right field line, hooking into the corner, and it is gone. Bo Naylor connects with his first of the season. Oh boy, does that ever hurt. The Birds had just pulled within 1, looking for a shutdown inning, and Naylor cranks the round tripper. Each team with 2 home runs tonight. And there was little doubt in that one. Deep into the seats. Here's Brian Rocchio. He homered his last time up and fouls the first pitch back for a strike. 1 for 2 tonight. Got a deep fly ball back in the 3rd off of Kramer before homering. Well, the scoreboard has changed again. 4-2 Cleveland. The pitch. Down and away. Out of town scoreboard brought to you by Johns Hopkins Medicine. Max Muncy got a game-winning sacrifice fly in the 11th in Sacramento. They beat the White Sox 7-6. Pitch fouled away at home plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, 2. Line the other way. Ward circles, now angles forward while coming near the line. Retires Rocchio on the fly. Yankees won big today in the Bronx over Kansas City, 13-4. 11 hits today in the Bronx. Mets have now lost 10 in a row. They were doubled up on the north side of Chicago, 4-2. Here's Stephen Kwan. Fastball outside from Suarez. Brewers are a hot ball club right now 12-8, with a 5-2 win over the Miami Marlins. Tigers won at Fenway today, 4-1 over the Red Sox, 1-0. Anthony Eastwood called strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. That carries us through our Johns Hopkins Medicine out-of-town scoreboard, bringing together the best of cardiology and cardiac surgery to provide high-quality patient care. The Johns Hopkins Heart and Vascular Institute is with you every beat of the way. Learn more at hopkinsmedicine.org/heart.
Some shout-outs on this Saturday evening. John Wardock listening to us, Ben, in Montgomery County on MLB app.
Home game. All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Our friend Mike Barry listening in Canton. How about this visual? On WBAL, our flagship station, knocking down some natty bows.
Nice.
Listening to baseball on the radio. Not much better than that.
Bows and O's. Here we go. Ground ball towards first base. Backhanded pick by Alonso. Shovels it off with Suarez coming over to pick it up and retire the side. That's 2 down. Go ahead.
This copyright broadcast is presented by the authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles.
Country Roads echoing in the ballpark. With Chase DeLauder batting with 2 down and nobody on. Suarez fires a fastball strike on the outside corner. We love our shout-outs here on this Saturday night.
I do like connecting with people that way while we're broadcasting. People listening all different ways everywhere.
0-1. That's down and in.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, I get it. We have people listening in Europe and Canada and Australia. That's awesome. But I'm glad Mike checked in from just Canton, Southeast Baltimore, listening on the flagship.
1-1. Swing and a miss.
I might do a weeknight test when we're in Kansas City to see who's listening. But I just love chiming in and shouting out people who are so loyal to this broadcast. Game after game, year after year.
1-2. That is, must have missed low.
I think what makes it interesting is just there's no boundaries anymore. You can listen anywhere. Now, of course, once upon a time, you could really get WBAL all the way up 95.
That was a flamethrower.
Not to mention, 35 affiliates.
2-2. In the air, out to left field, backing up Mail. This will carry out to Taylor Ward. He's there for round number 3. We're going to the 9th inning. Another home run by Cleveland. Their second of the night. This one stings. A little insurance, making it a 2-run game. Cleveland 4, Baltimore 2 on the Orioles. Radio.
Well, that wasn't really part of the plan. All right. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly, sleep in heavenly, sleep in heavenly
We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up our love friends, fill up the
to bat against Cade Smith, who's out of the bullpen to pitch for the Guardians. It's not been a good start to the year for their power right-hander. It is a 4-2 Guardians lead. This is a comfortable situation for him since the middle phases of last year when he became the closer. And the first pitch on the outside corner, strike one with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on Beavers. Beavers is 0 for 3 tonight. He's been fanned twice, and he bounced to first. Left-hand batter, the pitch. Breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield deep and lined up straight away. Smith to the plate. Swing and a miss by Beavers. He's behind 1-2. This ninth inning certainly would have felt much different than that 2-run cushion. A 3-2 game versus the 4-2 game. Those bid for that shutdown inning. Fell short on the long ball. Bo Naylor struck it. He's behind the plate, sets the target. Smith swinging a foul back by Beavers. And it stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. This ninth inning is being presented by SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the Baltimore Orioles. One-two, swing and a miss. Out number 1 here in the ninth inning, and another strikeout for Baltimore. Their 14th combined strikeout tonight.
The designated hitter, number 17, Colton Hauser.
He's got good velo with the heater. He's got a huge weapon with his splitter, and Beavers couldn't get to it for strike 3. Hauser, he struck out looking all 3 times at the plate tonight. First pitch, in tight, ball 1. Smith worked on Thursday in the series opener, and he hits the outside corner with a fastball for a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Good size on the hill, 6 feet 5 inches, 250 pounds. He'll turn 27 next month. Smith came aboard after Parker Messick's no-hit bid was busted in the 9th. Hauser lines it out of play off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Taylor Ward loaded the bases with a single. Gunnar Henderson had a sacrifice fly. Pete Alonso had an RBI double off the wall in right field, and the Orioles erased some of a 4-0 deficit. Hauser swings and misses, and there are 2 down. So again, Cade Smith, you can get to him. He's not nearly as dominant as what last year's numbers proved. Here's Leody Taveras, one of the offensive stars tonight, and he takes a fastball high for ball 1. One 1-0 on Leody Taveras, who has launched the solo home run back in the 4th, and then it took a nice play by Schneeman to rob him of a base hit back in the 7th. The 1-0, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. One. That's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Couple of lefties tomorrow. Joey Cantillo and Trevor Rogers will be on the mound at 1:40 Eastern. 2-1. Swing and a miss. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. $20,783 on a big sports day here in Cleveland. The Cavaliers won earlier in their first game in the NBA playoffs. The baseball team has a 4-2 lead. The pitch to Leody, popped up, foul ground, third base side, and out of play. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes on the number 6 hitter. On the left side of the plate, Smith deals, swing and a miss. Strike 3 to finish the ball game. Cade Smith comes into this ball game and he fans the side 1-2-3, and Cleveland has taken 2 of the first 3 of this 4-game series. With the ball game coming up on Sunday afternoon. Leody Taveras, Gunnar Henderson hit home runs for the Orioles, but Ryan Rocchio and Bo Naylor's home runs enough to power Cleveland on top of Baltimore here on this Saturday night. Rocchio with the game winner, a 3-run home run back in the 5th inning, and then Naylor with a little insurance with his solo blast in the 8th. Good enough for the final score, which reads Cleveland 4 and Baltimore 2. Back to take you through the totals. Talk about this one. We'll go down for some rapid reaction from the clubhouse. And, of course, the highlights are coming up here tonight on the postgame show that begins right after this on the Orioles Radio Network.